Hello everyone, it's Lushawn. If you've just found my channel, welcome. And if you are returning to my channel, welcome back. I do appreciate the support. So in today's video, this is my budget wrap up for the month of February. And as you all know, as I said before in my January wrap up, I started out with the month budgeting and showing you all, so I just wanted you all to see how it all wrapped up in the end. So if you are ready to get into the numbers and to see how my month ended, let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn to the February's tab for my budget. Overall, this is what I started with for the month, and had a few little oopsies that I had to adjust for, so I wanted to go over those with you all. I think it's helpful that I'm not glad that it happened, but it helps, I think, to let you all know that things can happen in your budget, that you're not, even though you're budgeting and you know and you have in your mind what you're expecting, sometimes things happen. And so it's also good, I think, for me, that I do my paycheck to paycheck, because sometimes you can catch things that when you first lay it out at the beginning of the month, once you do your paycheck to paycheck, it kind of whittles it down more to kind of this is like a macro, and your paycheck to paychecks are like a microcosm of what's going on with your macro. So to me, I think that's important. So I did catch a couple of things, but again, I still overall had to do some fixes with my overall. So that's what this wrap up is all about, and how I was able to adjust. For that, I didn't panic or anything like that. I had contingencies set up, so it worked. So let me pull you in a little bit so you can see a little bit more here. All right, so for those of you who were a part of when I first laid this budget out, this was everything that I had going on. And let me just bring it up a little bit. So what happened, what had happened was when I did my paycheck to paycheck for paycheck one, and let me just kind of turn back to that one. I noticed I had to put in this $51. I had forgotten to put in my mom's life insurance when I did the overall budget. Don't know how I forgot that, but I did. But I caught it when I did paycheck number one. So I was able to make the adjustment for that. And then I had, these two variances that I accounted for. And then in paycheck number two, I had two variances that I accounted for. So those variances are here in the budget. But what happened with my mortgage, and I will link my March's monthly budget layout, where I explained that my mortgage payment had gone up. Well, that payment that I had to pay in February was it was the payment increase. So when I budgeted, I was budgeting under the old payment amount and not the new payment amount that I ended up having to pay. So that was a difference of $125.37. And so let me just show you what I had to do, because I ran out of room here. So I just did a sticky note to outline what was done. So now truly, I took what I had originally budgeted for, and then I added that $51 in that I had not put in originally. So technically, my budget for the month should have been $6,037.06. And then when I minused out the income that was earned, the $6,381.70, then I should have had a remaining of $344.64. So I hope y'all can see that, instead of the $394.40. So when I did actual and actually paid my mortgage along with everything else, of course, then that changed my totals here. So I added the $51 in, and my actual, once that was added back in, really should have been $6,069.99. So minusing that from the income, I should have been left with $311.71. And what I had to do was, now I still had that $125.37 that I was off. Now, here's where I think doing the zero-based budget works. And I've always done it even before I started doing the Dave Ramsey method. I never roll over the balance in my account once I balance out take out everything that's due for the month. I never take that money and then go into the new month. I just start zero each month. But when I balance my checkbook, of course, my checkbook, I'm going to have more money in my checking account technically than I have when I'm writing out my balancing out my checkbook. So I've always accumulated money in there that I just leave as a buffer. So if it is not identified as a line item in my budget, even if I have like miscellaneous, I believe like in January, really quick, go back to January when I did my monthly, when I had finished up my debt sneaker snowball, I had a miscellaneous $49.80. Well, to me, miscellaneous is a named item. So that, even though it's in the account, it's for something. It's for if I, want to get something that I need to go online and do. But true buffer is just money you just put in there and you have not identified for anything. It's just sitting there. Well, I've done that over time, and I probably had about, I don't know, 230 to 40 bucks in the account that was just a buffer that I had not touched. So what I did was use this difference that I needed it for the account, which I'm glad it was there. I just took from that part of the buffer to make up for that difference. Instead of messing around with my line items and budgeting stuff, I was like, you know what, I'll just take it, the money's there, I'll just use that part. So that's why I put in the $125.37. I put AB, and that's for account buffer. So now my buffer in the account, of course, is now down by that 125, so it's less, like $100 or something like that I have as a buffer. And then also I put $65 back in that I took from my cash envelopes. If you look back at my update on my paycheck number 2, when I was doing my debt snowball, you'll see that I took money from my cash envelopes that I put back into the account, because I wanted to stick to my commitment of the $500 for my debt snowball. So putting that back in, that gave me the $502.08, of course, which matches what I had come up with for check number 2. After I did everything, it was the $502.08, so I matched that, of course. And then I took the $500 and I put that to my snowball, which left the $2.08. So this $2.08 will just sit in the account and be added on as to the account buffer balance. I won't put it as miscellaneous because it's only $2.08. So that's what I've technically over the past have always done. I just, small amounts like that, they've just accumulated over time, and they're not identified as anything that I would need to buy for. Now, if I identify it as miscellaneous, then I'm going to use that if I do something online where I need that. But to me, again, miscellaneous is technically identified as something, whereas this 208 is not. It's just in the account as a buffer. So that is my wrap up for the month of February. And overall, I still count it as a good month. My only kind of wish is that I could have had more money to put towards savings, but again, as I pay down the debt, I definitely will, you know, see a realized gain with that later on. So I'm okay with that. And yeah, so that is how my budget ended up for the month. To me, technically, even though that happened, I still thought it was great. Shout out to the account buffer money, and I was able to put money to my debt snowball, what I committed to, so that was awesome as well. So that's pretty much it. That is how it lined up. So I'll just bring you guys in a little bit so you can see what I did here. Still can't figure out how I forgot to put in the $51 for the life insurance. That was weird because I have my notes, so I don't know how that happened. But anyway, eventualities happen and you can't stress them. You just have to make the adjustment and do what's necessary to move forward. And that's what I did. So if you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. If you're a trooper. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Like, comment, share it. I truly would appreciate it. But I thank you all for coming along this journey thus far. And as per usual, until my next video, hugs and love. Bye.